Hey ya, hey ya. Surprise. Hi. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes and see who comes on. Then we're going to get started and going over the last 4 of the Clairs that we didn't do last week with their exercises. And be warned, my voice sounds a little off. I apologize. I was actually going to postpone this live because I earlier was not at my best. I feel I'm better now. So we're going to finish this up so that way we set the tone for everyone else this month on doing their abilities. So I hope you're ready for it, because I'm ready for it. Yeah. Right. So just gonna give it a few more. And I apologize if you hear a noise in the background. It's my kids. It's always my kids. I'm just pulling up my notes real quick too. For exercises. Right. Hey Gina. I know I said I was gonna postpone, but I just couldn't do it. I feel better though. A lot better. Look, I got makeup on. Look at that. A little bit of makeup makes me feel so much better. I'm just in a crazy mood though. So I figured, because I feel like I'm in a crazy mood, I have more energy than I've had in the last week. So that's a good thing. Gangster Witch, you are a trooper. Love you. I love you too. I cannot help it. See, Sarah Lee's like, right? I know. I said I wouldn't do it. But you know me, guys. What can I say? I have to. When you have to, you have to. And when it feels right, you just got to. Look, makeup is straight glamour magic. You were 100% right on that. It really does, like, and I know, like, some people will say, oh, it's the Leo in you. You know, you always feel like you gotta look pretty and stuff. But there's really something about me doing my hair, me putting on makeup, me just making me feel amazing. Whether anyone else likes it or not, I always feel amazing when I get myself dolled up. Which is probably why I do that frequently. Well, I used to. Now I'm like, oh, it's so much time to get ready. But I can't help myself nonetheless. Okay. We ready? Let's get ready. Laura, let's just get started. I like it. I like it a lot. Feeling pretty is part of self-care. 100%. 100%. It was just funny too because I don't do like self-care like the traditional people do, which like they want to relax and get maybe mani-pedis and stuff like that. Because I'm cheap. So I just do my own hair and makeup and it makes me feel amazing. And pretty clothes, of course. I have dresses galore. One day I'll actually put them on, but I just love having them in my closet. Makes me feel good that they're at least there in my closet. Okay, before I get sidetracked, hi everyone. Shall we start on the last 4 of our Clairs? So recap from the part 1. We went over 3 Clairs. So remember, Clair means clear, okay? So everything we talk about is a clear this, a clear that, okay? So Clair audience, Clair sentient, and Clair tangent are the 3 that we went over last week. We need to put a pseudo shiny metal armor in that closet too. Facts. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so 3 went over last week is Clair audience, Clair sentient, and Clair tangent. So we said that Clair audience is all about clear hearing, so it's hearing stuff. And we did some exercise where we blocked off everything. We tried to shut off all the noise around us as best we could. And then we tried to hear. What did we hear around us? What did we actually reach to hear? Were you getting downloads? Do you hear the ringing in the ears? Now, if you watch part 1, did you work on it since then? Have you just tried to shut off? And this could be like right before bed. Just you laying in bed, no TV, no music, no nothing on, and you just listen. What do you hear around you? And some people say it's very eerie when they hear stuff. Other times you're not even focusing, you're just kind of doing something and all of a sudden something just pops up. A sound, or, you know, some people say they can feel like they hear their voice. Some people are growling like me. Things like that. So keep working on it. Try and block out. When it gets nicer outside, unless you live in an area where it's still nice outside, Jody, go outside, you know, sit in your back patio or porch, or just go to an area where, you know, maybe you got some water by, and just shut everything off and listen. Listen to what's around you. Do you hear the water talking? Water speaks. Do you hear the wind howling? What is it saying? Is it carrying a message? And that's if you focus with the elements a lot. Other times, is it an ancestor speaking to you? Try and reach your spirit guides, okay? Listen. It's all about, clairaudience is all about listening. So you're really listening in deep and really just honing into expanding your hearing is what you're doing. You're reaching past the realms in a form, depending on how you resonate with this, because again, not everyone's a witch and they can still have clear abilities. But where are you reaching to? Are you trying to hit that higher frequency that people don't realize is there? You're opening up that part of your chakras, okay? We have messages. Sarah Lee says, I was at work when I watched part 1, but I did it later and was definitely downloading. Then 2 days later, I could hear the wind speaking. Yes, that's exactly it too. And the wind howls like there's no tomorrow. And it's just the fact that people need to listen. Like, what was that movie? Pocahontas. Okay. Perfect example of listening to the wind. Every time she went to go, see Grandmother Willow, right? The tree. You'd see like leaves dancing in the wind. And even the Grandmother Willow said, you know, you have to listen to the wind, listen to what it says. And that's exactly it. Like that history story from that culture literally tells you like parts of what we learn and what we need to learn. Like they learned it so long ago that we're just slowly tapping into what they've been raised to know from birth, from history. And that's the thing. If you even listen, you just watch some of the Disney movies, they literally have witchcraft in it in some form, and abilities too. You know, listen to the wind, she says, you know, colors of the wind. It has a hidden meaning, and it's talking about hearing. It's talking about being clairaudient too. And then of course, you know, she talks to trees. So that's a form too. Ellen says, I tried a couple times, but haven't gotten to check out the guides yet. Definitely. Not hearing anything, but it's really nice to try, really nice to pause and relax, and I feel like it might come in time. And it does. And then there's other times where maybe clairaudience isn't the ability you have. Maybe you have one or the other. Maybe you're claircognizance. Maybe you're gustiance. Maybe you're clairalliance. Maybe you're claircognizance. Yeah. Then maybe you're just not having one of the clairs, but you're more of a manifester. Maybe you just base everything off of intention. Maybe it's just an empathic thing, right? Or maybe you have that mediumship ability more so, and you just haven't been able to tap in to the clairs, which clairs go hand in hand with mediumship and psychic development, which we'll see that when we go through those abilities too. But there's so even like energy healing and crystal healing, they all either pull from one or maybe they don't, and you're picking up a different way to connect to that ability. So don't fret if you can't tap into it, because there's probably something else that you're more able to connect with. Because I can tell you right now, there's a lot of abilities I can't connect with. Just like there's a lot of clairs. There's only a few clairs I actually connect with. I don't connect with them all. Would I like to? Of course. But at the same time, do I really want to sit there and go, Tastes like tea. Oh, hey, Graham. You know what I mean? Things like that. Or, I smell smoke. Grandpa, didn't I tell you to quit smoking all the time? You know what I mean? And that's part of the two Clairs we're going to talk about tonight too. The Clair smelling and the Clair tasting, okay? So let's knock those two out of the way because they're easier to hurry up and break through. And then we're going to break through with claircognizance, and we're going to break in with clairvoyance also, since they're a little bit more of an exercise-based kind of thing, which we're going to do. These first two I just kind of knock out because they're more understanding. They're more basic. Just like clairtangents, you know, clair touching, where you touch, like I gave an example last time, where you touch an object and see what you get from it. You know, how are you feeling? You know, you're pulling the other abilities. So, like, if I touch something, do I see something? Do I smell something? Do I feel something? You know, and that's one really cool about clairtangents, is you're actually having to pull all the other abilities to be able to get images and feelings from an object you're actually physically touching, which is really cool. That's one of my favorites too. That's one of the ones I've been working a lot on, and it's really cool too. And that's something we're going to discuss when I help Megan out with psychic abilities, or I'm sorry, psychic development. Okay, so I said we're going to go ahead and talk about tasting and smelling. So clairgustance is Clair tasting, and Clair alliance is Clair smelling. Okay, so let's break on the I should probably pull up the proper notes, shouldn't I, my loves? I don't eat my hair in the process. All right. So, like I kind of gave the example when I said about clairgustance, which is the tasting. When you have the tasting, the biggest thing is it's how you. Oh, come on, don't do that. You're going to literally do as it says. It is, you can sit there and all of a sudden you're like, you're not drinking or eating anything, by the way, on this. But all of a sudden you're like, wow, I get this feeling like I'm eating strawberries for no reason. No problem. I always get a metal taste in my mouth when something I want is close. Clairgustance. And that's a big thing with clairgustance, is you literally can taste something. So like I said about like strawberries, maybe it brings back a memory of when I was helping my grandmother in her tiny little, I don't want to say orchard, but yeah. And I was picking strawberries with her. And then that's my grandmother's way of saying, or I should say my great-grandmother's way of saying, hey, hello, ancestor here, what are you doing? Like, what did I tell you about when we pick strawberries? You have to pay attention to which ones are ready to be picked and which ones still have to grow. And all of a sudden, now I have a memory, and that memory has a lesson attached to it. And all of a sudden, bam, there's my download, there's my message from her. And it's all because all of a sudden I started tasting strawberries in my mouth, like I was eating a strawberry, and obviously I'm walking down the street. Okay, or I taste blood in my mouth, and I'm sitting like, why do I taste blood? And then all of a sudden, the thought of last time I tasted this amount of blood, like actual like the metallic blood side of things, was when I was in a car accident, and something happened to me where, I was in a panic state and I'm freaking out over something I didn't have control over. And all of a sudden it becomes a message of slow down and let the universe take control of this. Just like that accident you had no control over, you're going to come out okay. You're going to be fine. Or it can have an opposite effect of it's giving you a message of, hey, you remember where you almost died that day? Okay, it's going to happen again if you don't stop. you know, and it depends on your interpretation of that message, okay? But everything has, when it comes to clairgustance, is it literally has a message to it. You just have to figure out what that message is. And it's always based off of a memory, most of the time, don't get me wrong. Other times, it could be a spirit guide of something you never had before. So say you're going to a house, and when you're in this house, you've never been here before, and all of a sudden you get this, you know, like, feels like you're eating like dirt or something, okay? Problem is that spirit is making you feel that way, and you don't really understand why. Problem is now we gotta figure out and break it down why, okay? So then maybe you start thinking, well, what does dirt mean? You know, maybe you're in a graveyard and that's what you're feeling. Things like that. You know what I mean? And it's always harder when a spirit that you don't know is giving you this message. It's always easier when it's a message from an ancestor. Or if it is a spirit, it's your own spirit guide giving you these messages in some form. So they're using your memory of things and what things represent to you and things that you remember. But it's always harder when it's not, when it's an entity you're not familiar with. And those are the ones that you gotta break into things. You gotta really think about it, and you gotta break it down, okay? You know, what's dirt mean? Alright, it's an earth thing, you know. Dirt means maybe being buried under something, or maybe it means grounding or something. That's the problem that a lot of people are gonna get when they have to break stuff down from things they don't understand. So it is a harder type of ability of the clairs if you're getting something from someone you don't know, okay? Now, with clear smelling, it goes hand in hand with tasting as far as it's giving you the same type of way to interpret things, but it's using a different sense. So, smelling things. So, you can smell flowers all of a sudden out of nowhere. You know, the wind carried it, and, you know, now suddenly you're smelling flowers for some weird reason, and you're, I don't know, say in the mountains. There's absolutely no floral scent at all, but all of a sudden you start smelling beautiful roses as if you were in a rose garden. And then all of a sudden, bam, you know, it means something. This one actually was used when we did a psychic development training class, and the woman that I was working with actually said, I keep smelling gunpowder, like when someone shoots off an old style rifle, and you just smell the powder afterwards, or, you know, the smoke that, you know, the older guns would give off. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? Like, gunpowder? Guns? And then I start thinking, I'm like, I mean, I do work in a heavy profession that, you know, we do have to use guns, and alright, but I was like, old style gun. And then it starts just turning, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, it's like, or maybe it's a past life thing, you know, did I fight in any type of war that used those, did I maybe have a family member that fought that way, maybe that's the way I died in a past life, you know, and you're starting to break stuff down. And then there was another time where we did the same training exercise. It was a whole different person, and she said that all she kept smelling was just this strong amount of oil. Like, I mean, from an oil field, like just this dark oil. And the funny thing is oil is one of the smells I can't handle because it makes me sick. So the fact that she smelt it, it automatically took me back. Like, there is a past history where I literally had a bad reaction to any type of an actual oil, as if maybe I was, you know, stuffed in a container full of oil or something. Not acid, but oil. So it all has its own things. Then you can use it as an ancestor thing, you know. Like Sarah Lee said, like Papo's Tabasco pipe is one for me. I know he's near with a message. And maybe it could be a smell thing, you know, or it could be a taste thing, but it could be, you could use it as a smell thing. You smell maybe the type of tobacco that he used in his pipe all the time. I have a great-grandfather that used to smoke those dang pipes all the time, and he had a very unique odor every time he walked in that house, and you just knew you were in great-grandma and grandpa's house just by his smell alone, you know? it is the same way. You know, some people, if it's an entity, they can smell decay or anything like that. And then it just feels, or sulfur. It's another big thing. And that's where this Clair comes in. When, you know, some people, they go, ooh, you don't smell that strong odor? And you're like, what strong odor? It smells like sulfur. Oh, like really bad. The biggest sign of a dark entity, demon, some form, can be sulfur, right? Or the smell of decay, you know? It's not always a bad thing, so keep that in mind too. Just because you smell it doesn't mean it's automatically evil or dark, because sometimes you have to have a dark entity that can be a guide of yours too. It's not always a light thing, because sometimes if you think of it, like everyone's always working with the light all the time, so the light's always so busy. It's always nice to have a helper in the dark to do the same thing that the light does. They're just doing it on something that is within their capabilities on the dark side of things. So, like I said, when you smell something like that, it's not always a bad thing if you smell those. But yeah, so next time, you know, if you're in an area that doesn't have, you know, exact scents, floral, roses, smoke, pipe, you know, things like that. Or if you're doing any type of psychic development and you're touching an object, and all of a sudden you get this strong whiff of, I don't know, let's say iron or any type of actual metal, and you're literally just sitting in your house and have no reason, and the object you have is, you know, a photograph. But all of a sudden you're smelling like someone's in maybe a coal mine, you know, and you just feel that, you just feel those pickaxes going, you know. So 1, now you got a vision of a pickaxe. 2, you smell it, right? 3, you hear it. Look, you're working your clairs, okay? Things like that. So the senses in general, this hearing, smelling, tasting, touching thing, they all work simultaneously in their own form. Even when we move on to, you know, the visions, it's just like that too. When you're visioning something, you can hear something, you can see something. Even when you're dreaming, you can hear something, you can smell something, you can taste something. You could wake up, all of a sudden you're tasting something, and it was because of a dream. You know, maybe you're eating a burger in your dream, and all of a sudden you wake up and you still feel like you're eating that burger. You know? So think of it that way too. Okay? Let's see, did I forget anything on those two? Let me just check my little notes here. Okay. No. Alright, cool. Let me make sure. I want you guys to not get everything. Yep, I said all that. Okay. So the next one, guys, that we're gonna work on, that you guys obviously love, excuse me, is we're gonna work on clairvoyance. Okay, so clairvoyance is also known as clear seeing or psychic visions, and a lot of people really like this one, and you'd be surprised how many people think they actually have this, and it's not as developed as you think. So by opening your sight, it's actually a world where you see on different planes if you actually are able to open your clairvoyance to its fullest. And it's a scary thing to see. So a lot of mediums can do this. They can actually see the spirit in front of them. It's scary to some people. Some people have it and don't realize they have it, and you know, children are very prone to this. I know my sons are, mostly my oldest son is with this. This is where he sees the shadow creatures, and this is where he sees like the beings that most of us, me included, I can't always see unless they allow me to see it. This is also where you are able to see your elemental beings. This is where you are able to see your fae, your dragons, any type of mythical creature that they have to allow you to see. This is where you can see any type of ghosts or spirits, depending on how you depict them. This is the Clair for that, all right? And it's greatly misunderstood, too, okay? So it's a psychic thing. At least that's how a lot of people perceive it, I should say. Now, keep in mind, this isn't always about how they like kind of show on TV, like, you're gonna see the dead people. You see him? You, shh, don't, I know he's there. Shh, it's okay. Don't need it, don't. Like Hollywood. It's not always like that. This could also be something that you see in dreams. So what are the messages in your dreams showing you? Okay. You could be staring, which I do this frequently. And this is how I actually write my stories, is I can stare, say, at my carpet in front of me in my bedroom. And I'm staring at my carpet, and I can play an image out in my head. This could be a scene. This can just all of a sudden be just a thought that I was thinking, and I'm literally drawing it out in this carpet. I'm seeing it as if it's real, like it's a movie playing in front of me. That's how you can also perceive this too. It's not just, hey, I see dead people, or hey, I see the mythical creatures out there, or hey, I see, you know, this and that. But it's me seeing an image and getting messages from that image. Automatic writing can happen from this, just like it can happen with claircognizance. It can also happen with clairvoyance when it comes to automatic writing. And we'll talk about that a little bit if I remember. But I can literally, like I said, this is how I write my stories. So this is how I'm able to sit there and say, hey, automatic writing kind of goes hand in hand with this too, with clairvoyance, is because, like I said, I'll put on headphones, I'll drown out everything. So I'm taking away my hearing on the outside world, and I'm putting a soundtrack in my head. Most remember what I said last time. The one I always listen to is Lord of the Rings, because it has this, it's perfect for me writing. Same thing with Harry Potter. The soundtrack, I can listen to it because it's in beautiful melodies. And the pitches are just perfect for my hearing because I can't handle high pitches. But I can sit there, drown it out, and I'm not playing a Harry Potter scene or a Lord of the Rings scene in my head. I'm playing out, and I'm gonna hate to say this, but it could be a really bad, like, murder scene. Or it can be any type of scene. All of a sudden my mind just pops and says, hey, this is what you're gonna see right now. And now I'm gonna have you put it on paper. Okay? That's my form of automatic writing. Alright? Okay, so here's like how the book text depicts this. So some of the things that could indicate psychic visions is having vivid dreams, visions, mental images, or mini movies that flash in your awareness, seeing the colors of the energy fields around people, plants, and animals, having amazing sense of direction, easily visualizing solutions to problems, and being really good with visual problems, like rearranging furniture, or even basically like loading a dishwasher. Okay. The word, nope, we don't need to say that. I'm not worried about that part. Okay. Now, did that help a little bit with the breakdown? So there's so many things like aura reading and energy reading. It goes hand in hand too. Psychic sight is usually very subtitled. You can receive information on how your memory kind of depicts it. So you might also see, like I said, any type of symbols is a big thing too. Colors, shapes, anything that will hint towards like a really deep meaning. Sometimes clairvoyance does manifest like a clear vision, like we already said. You can see angels, you can see ghosts, you can see demons, you can see spirits. It can come through your dreaming, and sometimes there are those people that they will get glimpses of the future. This is also one of those abilities that back in the day used to call this like prophecies. Like, you know, all of a sudden I'm a prophet because I can slightly see glimpses of things from the future. It might not be, you know, a full-fledged movie, but all of a sudden it's like, when you go home, don't get in that car. I don't know why. Just, I keep seeing a car and then a grave. And that's it. I didn't see anything else. I don't know who's in it. I don't know if it's you, significant other, but don't get in the car. That's what a lot of people say, hey, you're a prophet. It's a prophecy thing. Okay. So let me get... Alright, so here's some exercises that we can do. Alright. Not that one. Alright, let me grab my notes because I wrote it all down. Okay, so here's an exercise on this one. So grab, and it's going to sound really corny, so if you have a plant, like a little plant around you maybe, or a stuffed animal, or maybe like a teacup, something that's like distinguishable, okay? And this is how we're going to work with this one. So if you have it, run and get it right now. I'm going to give you like a few seconds. But go ahead and grab that. And like I said, it could be a mug. It could be a little teacup. If you really want to get a little detailed, if you got a book next to you, and we're going to focus on the cover of the book only, anything like that. Okay, are you all ready? Did you get your book? Did you get your book? Or your teacup? Or the stuffed animal? Okay, I hope you did. Okay, here we go. So when you choose this object, what you're going to do is you're going to set the object in front of you and you're going to study it very closely. So look at your object. Turn it around. I'm going to grab my cup right here, if I don't crack my ankle in the process. Okay, so I have a cup, right? Very basic red cup. Has water in it for me, okay? Has the symbols, all that. So put it in front of you and stare at it for a while. Look at the top of it. Look at the straw. Look at the color. Look at the symbols, the markings, okay? Look at all the rings on it. These have like lines all the way down, okay? I have like, I have water in it, so it's very clear. Look at the flash of the water, okay? Keep studying it. Don't look at me, but look at it. Don't look at me. Look at it. Okay? All right, now close your eyes. And try to picture the object in your mind's eye. Try and get as many details as your eyes are closed as you can. Do you remember in very, very specific detail your item, your object, okay? Ideally, the object would be perfectly accurate in your mind. You should be able to see every ripple. You should be able to see every stitch. You should be able to see the grooves, how it feels. If you're looking at a book and say the title of it, you know, comes up a little bit. Every color, every shimmer, right? Now after you're done, open your eyes and look at your item and see how accurate you really were. And be honest, when you look at your item, did you forget a couple things? Okay? If you didn't and you were able to see this in full-fledged detail, then your clairvoyance is going to be it's going to develop well. Because that's the one thing. You start off with a basic item or object, okay? And then you're going to then move on to another exercise, which I'll give you an example of another one here to go with clairvoyance also, okay? But what you're doing is just, it's like a memory thing. You remember what something looks like, and it helps you see things, say in your dreams, where it's exactly detailed, okay? So an object was the first one. And why we say this is, what the exercise does is it helps you kind of develop a clear psychic vision. So, it will direct your abilities and help you capture more of the very specific pictures. So if, say, a spirit shows you something in your head, you'll be able to see it in exact form and not like in a blur, or I think it's a cup. But what kind of cup? What does that cup mean? Is there very specific meaning to this cup? Why are they showing you this cup? Why can't it just be a normal cup? Why might I just go downstairs and grab a normal clear glass, you know, that everyone in my house drinks from? What does that cup mean? Now, you know, my KOA cup, now that came from a family trip that my husband bought for me so I can have my little fun drinky drink while we're running around on a golf cart trying to entertain all the kids, you know, our kids, my niece and nephews. But it has very symbolic meaning. So it's all on the image that you're getting, and it wants you to detail it out. It wants you to really see that cup, because when you see that cup has to have some type of meaning. It can't just be a normal, hey, oh yeah, I just found this at a garage sale. Okay, but it has to have symbolic meaning. So it's painting the clear, detailed picture of something. And do that a few times a week. I mean, it's so easy. You can sit there at dinner and doing it, okay? Monica says, awesome exercise. I've always been super vivid dreamer and like to write the dreams down when I get the chance. That's fantastic too. Dream journals are really amazing if you could actually remember your dreams. So it's really good that you're a vivid dreamer. I got like a 50-50. 50-50 of my dreams I can remember when I first wake up. Other times I can't. The ones I do remember, I try and write them down really quick too. Because they always have huge meaning. If I can actually remember them the next day, that means they were extremely strong meaning. So yeah. Hell yes. Okay, so practicing with your spirit guides. Here's how this one goes. So first you have to establish contact with a type of spirit guide, okay? So that's something you need to work on your own. As far as like having a spirit guide, I should say. But once you establish that you have one, this is going to help you with your clairvoyant abilities. So it's really easy to do. So pretty much out loud if you really feel like it, most of the time, for about 5 minutes or so. If my computer would stop being a jerk to me. So you can ask your spirit guide, like, what should I do more? What do you want me to do more? And if you're not quite really what to say or anything, you can always say, like, I want to find more messages. I want to find another way I can, expand or strengthen my abilities. Close your eyes and then kind of see what picture they give you. And ask them, say, I want to use only my clairvoyant abilities. And darken your whole entire room if you have to. I'm one of those ones, if I'm working on any type of sight or sound, I can't have no candles lit. I can't have any noise around me. I have to be in complete and total darkness. And granted, I enjoy the darkness. But I can't have anything around me because it literally distracts me. So that's no problem, Ellen. So I definitely have to be in complete and total darkness. So yeah, so if you want to do that, literally just ask your spirit guides, how can I strengthen? Or if you don't want to worry about strengthen, you want to know the message, ask him, what do you need to tell me? But show me through my clairvoyant abilities. I want to see it only. Show me the pictures, show me the images, okay? And work on that. So you can ask your spirit guides to help. Dreams, definitely. Ask your spirit guide to give you messages through dreams. You can say, like, I ask my spirit guides to send messages through pictures, through dreams, with the intent of improving my clairvoyant abilities. So there you go. There's a little, like, phrase or spell or chant if you want to. If you have, like, a very special candle that's for dreaming, maybe light that candle to help. If there's a special sachet, I would maybe throw your sachet into there as well. Meditate or do any like past life regressions. So most clairvoyants, aren't immediately able to see spirits with their eyes open. So some need to actually do like meditation to try and connect with them. You can do it that way. One way is to ask your spirit guides to escort you on a past life regression. You can see different past lives every time you meditate, but also make sure that you can fill out like, the whole picture. I can guarantee that your past lives, if you haven't done it very often, it's going to be really, really fuzzy. So you have to, you can say, open up your sight to be able to hone the images to a more clearer picture. Another one is practice looking at auras. I will tell you right now, I'm horrible with auras. I'm the wrong one to sit there and ask any questions when it comes to auras. I can promise you that. But your clairvoyant ability is really good if you're working with auras or energy healing too, because you can see, you're honing to see the vibrations of people or animals or plants. Because energy healing for me is a pulse. It's like a vibrating pulse. Aura obviously are colors. Sometimes it's not even colors. Sometimes it's just the shadows, the shades. It's another thing. I'm making sure I can figure out all the others. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this one. Man, Gina, if you were on here, you would totally beat my butt right now. Okay, so Gina did an energy live not too long ago where we actually did exercises where we worked with energy inside our hands. Okay, we practice energy balling where we're able to pull energy into a small area and push it all the way through, where we pushed it all the way through to someone else. And then we kind of focused on like what parts of the body we were trying to aim for. You know, that person all of a sudden is feeling weird tingles in the hands, maybe stiffness in the back, or maybe just, you know, in the throat area, you got a headache, something like that, okay? I was part of that. It was great. So clairvoyance is you're focusing on seeing the energy in front of you. So remember, I said energy is something you're focusing on, seeing energy. You can also work with that on, you're not trying to transmute or manipulate or move energy, but we're working on seeing the energy. So if I sat there and I took the collective around me, which this isn't gonna work because I have technology around me, but if I didn't have technology around me, I can then pull the energy from the air, okay? And then I can transmute it into this spot, and I can see the spiral, I can see the color, okay? I can feel it, which it won't let my hand stay, so there's something wrong. It's the technology. But now it's cloudy. Okay? You can see it. I used too much. You can actually see it. You can see how it kind of just, seeps in. And sometimes it's a ball, and sometimes it's just a wave of something. Work on practicing with energy. If you work with energy, and again, not everyone does, I love energy. Obviously, I'm an energy empath, so I create a shitload of it. and I love transmuting it into helping other people. But work on that, okay? Now, you can't see my hands, but my hands always go out, and then I pull from the area inwards. And it kind of feels like you're literally tensing your hands, but you can literally feel. And everyone is different. And like I said, I have too much technology, so it's really pulling the wrong amount of energy from me. But work with that. It's really good. Oh, wait, hold on. Sarah Lee said, oh, I love seeing auras. I've been practicing for a couple years now. See, there you go. If you guys got questions, get a hold of Sarah Lee. I know nothing when it comes to auras, but energy, yes, I got you on energy. Ronnie says, I love trying to look for auras. See, there's no one. You got questions? Give a shout out to Ronnie, because I don't know nothing. I also get bad taste when someone is just not right. Oof, listen. Oh, yeah. I haven't had that where someone's not right. Mine's mostly that gut feeling, so the claircognizance, when we move into that knowing something's not right, just feels off. That's mine. But yeah, definitely, I 100% see that. But yeah, so practice. If you work with energy, you... What? Oh, okay, you're not talking to me. So energy is my favorite. I can't believe I didn't even think of that. But yeah, practice focusing on seeing the energy too. That definitely helps. Alright, so are we good to move on to our last one, which is claircognizance? So we just did clairvoyance. We're going to work on claircognizance. Okay? Okay, so claircognizance is obviously clear knowing. So knowing something. So this one's kind of far left field. Then you're going to take a left and another right, and then it's going to bounce back up to the front, and you're going to be like, what? Because it doesn't follow a sense. Not the basic sense, at least, okay? This is an inner sense type of thing. With this, it's kind of like knowing, like we said, all right, like something's off, that something's wrong, that something doesn't feel quite right. Think of it as a heightened sense of awareness. I guess that's a good way of saying it. Heightened sense of awareness, which allows, like your other side to get direct thoughts to you. So messages of, you know, maybe your spirit guide sending you, you know, just like, I'm just gonna tell you, you already know this isn't gonna be a good idea. And you're just like, you know, something just feels not right. I don't think we should go into that house. Like, I'm getting bad vibes. I'm getting some bad juju feeling. Like, I got a gut feeling, and it's... I don't think we gotta go in there. I just know it's a bad idea. Okay, that's kind of one way of looking at it. This one is definitely all about your crown chakra being wide open when you're actually able to get claircognizance going. Let me get to the right notes here. Clairsentience. Here we go. Okay, so claircognizance or psychic knowing. This one, like I said, doesn't really make sense to a lot of people. So with claircognizance, you are receiving wisdom and information from your inner being in the form of ideas, concepts, and thoughts that suddenly come to your mind and out of nowhere. Ronnie says, yes, follow those feelings always. 100%. Because you rarely get let down, you know, and if you do, it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. Here's another thing to think of it. So, have you ever known how to fix or assemble something without any instructions or experience with the design that you're trying to build or make or paint? You just somehow know with like certainty. Or have you ever had an idea about something new, you know, maybe an invention in some form? Another way is like, have you ever written something down or otherwise said an expression or new ideas of explanations about something you have not even thought about before? Or a totally new approach, maybe a professional thing. You just know how to do something, like you've been doing it for years, Let's pull up the other one and see if that breaks it. I hear my kids screaming downstairs. Okay, so when you just simply know something is true without any outside evidence or knowing why you know, you're tuning into your psychic sense of claircognizance. You can receive accurate and very specific messages and guidances from realms this way as well. You may suddenly know an answer to a question. And it can be any question. Past, present, or future, really. And this can go hand in hand with being a prophet too. Because, you just know, I know my mom's gonna call first thing in the morning, tomorrow. Well, how do you know that? I don't know, I just have a feeling she's gonna call me. Well, doesn't your mom call you every day at the same time? No. Well, how do you know? Because I'm always at work. I'm always at work that time. But for some reason, this week I'm not, and I have a feeling she's gonna call me bright and early. Well, I don't know. Or all of a sudden I'm gonna be like, I have this feeling that my mom's gonna call and she's gonna want to go shopping for shoes for my kids. Well, that's very just spontaneous. How would you know that? I don't know. I just sometimes know my mom's gonna call. And for some reason, she's gonna call this time and it's gonna be about shoes for some reason. Shoes. And sure shit, she'll call and bam. Shoe time. You know what I mean? Or, and this happens to me all the time at work, and it's a very scary one, is if I walk into an area and it's really quiet, it's too quiet. And I've walked in this area before and it's been too quiet and nothing's happened, but for some reason today something just doesn't feel right. And I mean, it doesn't feel right as in the sense of, yeah, today's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, today's gonna be a bad day. I've woken up, literally stood in my shower, getting a shower and going, I should not go to work today. And then I'll be like, babe, I really should just go back to bed and call off sick. And he'll be like, babe, why? Like, I don't know, I got this bad feeling about today, man. I'll be like, bad feeling? I'll be like, listen, I already know something's gonna happen as soon as I get into work. It's gonna be a shit day. I'm gonna have fights, stabbings. And he'll be like, oh, come on, babe, now you're just exaggerating. All of a sudden, I come home and it's, bam! Babe, how was your day? Well, let me tell you about my day. By the way, I almost didn't make it home today because I had to work a double because of this person, that person, this tip. Next thing you know, he's like, didn't you say you were going to have a bad day today? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yep. And I just knew it was going to be a bad day. Like someone or something said, you need to watch your back today. You need to watch your back. It's going to be a dangerous one today. And this could be just simple of, hey, I'm getting in my car and going to the grocery store too. All of a sudden you might just feel this, you know what, I shouldn't get in that car right now. I should probably wait a little bit. And then all of a sudden you hear about someone getting in an accident on the same road you were about to drive down 10 minutes ago. And a semi, slammed into someone's car. It could be stuff like that. And that's where the future comes in. And other times, like I said, you could just know your mom's gonna call. Or that, work's gonna call or something silly. But anything like that. Monica says, this is one of the feelings I have. Not always just kind of shows up sometimes. Like when I was a kid, my dad died. And I just knew it at the exact time he passed. And I started crying and knew he was gone. Same with me. On that one. I had the same experience with my biological dad. Now you say shoes, been seeing shoes in and out of my thoughts for no reason. I marked down shoes 2 days ago, lol. See? You just knew I was going to talk about shoes and someone. Or someone was going to talk about shoes, and I'm always talking about shoes. But it's true. Sometimes it's just kind of like, you know, someone's going to talk about something. And this is one of the ones too where the girls always, I kind of have a tendency of doing is when I know something's wrong with someone, I just know it. You can also say I feel it if you'd like, but I know it. It's not so much of a clairsentient, but it can be. But I know something's wrong with someone, and then all of a sudden I'm sending a message like, hey, are you okay? I mean, I don't think you are. Like, I just want to let you know I'm here for you. And then next thing you know, it's a full-fledged conversation, and it's something bad. Or something that's major on someone's mind, and they need someone to talk to. And that's another thing, too. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just know you need to call someone. That you need to call. Not so much that someone's going to call you, but you need to call someone, and you need to check up on someone. Because something, maybe they're in a bad place. Or maybe they're just having a really good day, and they want to tell you about it. You can feel that positive energy. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing either, too. That's another thing I should probably mention. It's not a negative thing always. It could be a positive thing, too. So that's another thing. Let me see. Is there any exercises on that one? I know I have an exercise, it is not showing up. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. Like I said, this is my old laptop. I just got a new one, but I haven't put everything on my new one yet, so I still have to work with this one. I wanted to give you some good ones, so I actually found a couple really good exercises. And then I'm going to see if I could find some exercises like I did with the clairsentient, clairaudient, clairtangent, where I added some to the group, like guided meditations from this woman that they're really, really good. So I thought that would help you out too. So I hope you don't mind that. Okay. So, this one's saying the same thing as far as, like, clairvoyance. Try and chat with your guides. Ask them to help you. Ask them to help you develop it. It is a clair knowing, so, it's the same aspect. Use the same type of, asking phase. I'm excited to get to know you. I'm open and ready to receive your guidance. For my highest and best good, please guide me through developing my intuitive gifts and my claircognizance. Ask them something simple and nice, let them help you with this. Now, if you want like a visualizing exercise, you can start by pulling out a journal and pen. Write about how your life will be when your claircognizance is fine-tuned, okay? Describe a day in your life describe a day in your life of you where you know you should do something and that it's going to have a positive aspect in your life, okay? Visualize it on how you know it's going to make you feel and impact your day-to-day life. Then set the journal aside and meditate on the day just that you described. Visualize every single detail. Put yourself in the moment and imagine how your body feels when you experience this claircognizance moment. Pick up your notes days later and see if that day manifests. Now, granted, this is a manifestation technique, but it goes hand in hand with the claircognizance because you already know that this is how your day's gonna go, okay? Automatic write, all right? Well, I'm not even gonna get into that one. So, grab a pen, pull out your notebook. Before you start to write, ask your higher self a question, okay? Simple question. I don't care what it is, you know? Then write whatever comes to you from this. Literally anything. Words, feelings, thoughts, gibberish. Whatever you really want. Does not have to be like anything fancy. And let your pen just write. This is the automatic writing part that we're, throwing into this cognizance. The first time you do this exercise is probably going to seem completely like ludicrous. But those times will clear out of your subconscious and make room for the good stuff. So really what you're doing is the first few times is you're literally just acting crazy with your pen. After you get all those crazy things, when you ask a question, real things are going to flow. Things that just, you don't have a thought to, okay? You're not seeing images. You're just writing random stuff. And in no time, your page will start to be filled with things that make actual sense based on the question that you asked. In other words, you'll be receiving clear cognizance messages, and your inner knowing will get really strong with this, okay? That's why automatic writing and claircognizance kind of go one in one, or hand in hand, as you say. Literally just write stuff over and over again. No thought to it, no hearing anything, no seeing anything, no sensing really anything, don't smell, don't taste, none of that crap. Just write stuff and see what message of knowing comes from this. It's really cool and it's really easy, all right? And keep it a simple question, okay? How's my work day gonna go on Monday for next week, all right? Very simple, very basic. Write it, what you get. Come Monday, pull out that journal and read that page and see if it did. Right? Okay? So another thing is like going back to the basics for a moment and recognizing that you can only develop claircognizance if you fully believe it exists. That's another thing too. It's a mental thing. Some psychics are way more obvious, so some have actual visions of their BFF having a baby versus just knowing that she's pregnant, where claircognizance really aligns with you denouncing the logical part of your brain and understanding that inner knowledge does exist. So there's that left brain and right brain thing, okay? Left brain is very logical, right brain is very creative and, free-spirited, they say. Try having both. That's a fun one. But once you realize, layman's terms, magic is real. 8 follows the same thing. So, next time you feel like you're having a claircognizance, like you just know something is, go with it. And see where it leads you, okay? Learn to recognize and act on an intuitive message is a very strong point when it comes to claircognizance development. Oh, and here's another one. I forgot about this one. Boost your claircognizance with music, too. The next time you are dancing around your kitchen listening to Adele, imagine that you know which song is going to come playing next. You can do this in the car as well. Try that. Don't worry if you're wrong. It's not the really point, but it's just trying to see if you know what's gonna come next. And that's a fine tune. But it's something silly you can play just driving in your car, trying to guess which one's next. Cards. Try using cards. This is gonna be the last one as an example to help. So a lot of people will like to use picture cards. You can use a deck of cards and standard, deck of cards, ace, spades, hearts, diamonds. You can use tarot cards, maybe just pull like the major arcana, or if you have your favorite deck of oracle cards, try that. Or hey, even use regular dice if you want to, okay? And hold your cards in your hand, and work with a small amount. So, I work with maybe like 10 cards, okay? Look at all the pictures or the numbers, see which ones you have, then shuffle them up, and then try and figure out by using your claircognizance ability to see which one's going to come out. Now, we're not trying to vision anything, so don't get clairvoyance and claircognizance mixed up. We're literally trying to where you just know, okay? Pull your spirit guides into this if you have to, all right? Ask them, which card is going to come out. And let them give you a form of download to be able to pull it up, okay? And see which one is going to be your top card. Oh, okay. I have the number 2 of diamonds. Or, if I have my deck of cards, all of a sudden, or say I have a tarot card and I'm using the major arcanas, okay? And all of a sudden I pulled the temperance card. And I knew. Or I pulled the tarot card. And I knew that was going to be the next one. I knew it was going to be the tarot card. Put that one aside, okay? Pull the next top card. All right, so as I'm waiting, I'm thinking, and I'm asking my spirit guides, help me use my claircognizance ability. And I'm pulling through it. And all of a sudden, I literally just, out of nowhere, my brain goes, ding! It's going to be the strength card. And zoop! Oh, and it's the strength card, okay? Or same thing with dice. You roll your dice. Take one dice, one standardized dice. You got 6 numbers. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a 1. Bam. It's a 1. Or if not, keep practicing. You know what I mean? And just try not to think about it, but try to pull that information through. Let me catch up here. So Monica says, and my 2-year-old is over it. I'm out. I'll catch the start of the end of the No problem, Monica. Marnie says, you have to believe. Don't you like when that happens? And dice, I just thought of that. Right. I should have wrote it down, but I just had it all typed out instead. But yeah, dice, any type of cards, and it's just a matter of knowing. But, the knowing doesn't just come from, your own brain. It kind of comes from somewhere or someone or something. So, ask for guidance. Help develop your claircognizance or clairvoyance or clairsentient or clairtangent or, clairgustient. And see where it goes. Okay? I don't think I have anything else. I think I went through everything pretty thoroughly to start you all out on a good foot with the Clairs. Did I start you out on a good foot? Let me know. Like, seriously, if you're watching the replay, too, let me know. Is it enough? Is it a good start to then brush you up on your mediumship, which is going to be happening tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think hers is tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it's developing your Clair abilities is really easy. It's just a matter of how much time are you going to want to take it, and do you have the ability? And again, I'm gonna say this in my own personal thought, and don't take this the hard way, but not everyone has the abilities. So it's okay. But now you know about them, so you could recognize if someone else has them. And then it won't kind of feel so weird. Like, oh, like what? Like what? Who are you talking to? Or what are you looking over there? Like, kids are great for it. Animals are good for it too. All of a sudden they just kind of stare off. They're staring at a wall. You're like, hey, what are you staring at? And my kid be like, you don't see it? She don't see you. Oh, he says he don't want you to see him. He's kind of mean. Oh, I can't tell her that. Oh no. Mom, you can't see that? You can't see it? No, baby, I can't see that. What do you look? What is it? Do I gotta take care of it? He said he don't like you, Ma. I'm like, that means I need to take care of it, you know? And that's just how it is. But okay, so my little crazy acting, horrible acting skills, I'm gonna leave you on that note. You guys take care. I'm really glad I got to do this tonight. I think it was a great live. If you guys have any questions about the Clairs, please don't hesitate to ask. I love the Clairs. As you can tell, I absolutely love them. I just love my Clairs. It's one of my passions, and I can't wait for you guys to see the rest of the whole month of abilities that we're going to be tapping into. Get ready, guys, because I just slightly opened up, and so did Sarah Lee. We just slightly opened up for you guys for the month, so get ready. And everything has a form of exercise too. So when you see the new events coming up, please, one big thing I just want to say real quick, and I know I'm sorry, I'm dragging it out, I'm not meaning to. Please make sure that the events, when they come to you, hit just interest or maybe going, even if you're not able to. This just helps you get notifications, so that way, like, if you do have a minute or something to stop on, you can see them. But I do send those invites, and they are for the group only. No one in your personal life will see them. I promise you, they are only for the ones in the group. No one else can see them. Okay? So don't worry about any of that. Anyone on the outside life seeing them, they can't. Okay? I made it completely private. It's only for the ones that I invite can actually see this link anyways. Okay? Thanks, Ronnie. Mwah. Okay, so I'm out. Ladies, I absolutely love you. Have a wonderful night. Blessed be, and get ready for a ride.